From the moment Ava walked into a room, people either admired her or avoided her. There was no middle ground. She wasn't loud or dramatic. She didn't crave attention. But her presence carried a kind of gravity, a rawness that made others uncomfortable. She said what others were afraid to say. She saw through masks people spent years building. And though she never meant to intimidate anyone, her authenticity seemed to do it for her. Ava had learned the hard way that being real was not something most people wanted to be around. They liked the idea of honesty, but not the reality of it. She didn't sugarcoat her truth or dress it up in politeness. When something didn't feel right, she said so. When someone lied, she noticed. And when others hid behind charm or fake laughter, she saw the emptiness flickering in their eyes. The first sign that she was too real was how easily people misunderstood her. They called her intense or too much, as if honesty were a flaw to be softened. But Ava wasn't trying to be difficult. She was just incapable of pretending. She couldn't flatter people she didn't respect, couldn't fake interest in shallow conversations, couldn't laugh at things that weren't funny. It wasn't rebellion, it was instinct. The second sign was the way people's energy shifted around her. Some grew defensive, as if her presence exposed something fragile inside them. Others became overly agreeable, trying to win her approval they didn't even understand. Ava noticed it every time, how truth unsettled the ones who built their lives on illusion. The third sign was her loneliness. Being genuine in a world that thrives on pretense meant that true connections were rare. She longed for conversations that went beyond gossip or surface emotions. She craved depth, talks about meaning, pain, growth, the stars. But most people weren't ready to go there. They wanted entertainment, not reflection. So Ava learned to walk alone, to enjoy her own company rather than settle for counterfeit closeness. The fourth sign was her intuition. She could feel when someone's words didn't match their intentions. It wasn't magic, just clarity. She sensed the energy behind the smile, the hesitation behind the compliment, the calculation behind kindness. She rarely called people out, but her silence spoke volumes. And those who hid behind facades often felt exposed just by standing near her. The fifth sign was her unwillingness to play social games. She didn't compete, didn't manipulate, didn't beg for attention. If someone left, she let them. If something ended, she accepted it. That quiet strength unsettled people who measured their worth by validation. Pretenders thrive on control, and Ava's detachment made them feel powerless. The sixth sign was how people often confided in her, even those who avoided her truth. Strangers poured out their secrets, their regrets, their private fears. They didn't know why they trusted her, but they did. There was something about her presence, grounded, unflinching, that made others feel both seen and safe. But once they revealed their truth, many disappeared. Being real with her reminded them how false they were with everyone else. The seventh sign was that she didn't chase approval. She had learned that no amount of pretending could make fake people love her. So she stopped trying. She wore what she liked, spoke what she meant, lived by her own rhythm. She would rather be disliked for her truth than loved for her disguise. That terrified the pretenders because her freedom reminded them of their cages. And the eighth sign was her peace. Not the kind that comes from having everything figured out, but the peace of self-acceptance. Ava knew who she was. She knew what she valued, what she wouldn't tolerate, what her soul needed. People mistook her calm for arrogance, but it was simply self-possession. She didn't need to perform for anyone. That quiet confidence was like a mirror. It reflected people's insecurities back at them. One evening at a dinner party, Ava found herself surrounded by laughter that felt forced. Compliments fluttered like currency, everyone vying to impress everyone else. She sat quietly, smiling faintly, feeling the falseness coat the air like perfume. Then someone asked her, "You're so quiet, Ava. Don't you have anything to say?" She looked up, her eyes steady. "I just prefer real conversations," she said softly, "and there aren't many happening here." The room fell silent. A few people shifted uncomfortably. One person laughed awkwardly, trying to break the tension. Ava didn't flinch. She wasn't angry, just honest. Later, as she left, she felt the night air wrap around her like freedom. The world could call her intimidating, blunt, strange. It didn't matter. She had no interest in being half of herself just to make others comfortable. Being real had cost her many things: friends, opportunities, belonging. But it had given her something far greater: clarity. As she walked beneath the moon, she thought of how truth had a quiet power. It didn't shout or demand, it simply was. And those who feared it would always run. But those who could stand in it, even for a moment, would never be the same again.